everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We are back in another video, and guys, we just got done with episode 5 of Hawkeye. I still can't believe that we only have one more episode left. It's crazy to think about that. This series has been so good. I've been loving it, and this episode is really focused on building up, to the finale, but also building up to Echo and her series going forward. I just really enjoyed overall this episode because in this episode we get a lot more Yelena, and we get an explanation on how, what happened to Yelena and some information of of where we left off with Yelena and Black Widow. We start that off in this episode. We start off her still looking for the widows. We already have the music playing that from Black Widow. We have her with the other widow. She's still in her white suit. So literally it must take place literally a couple of weeks, if not right after Black Widow. And she's been looking for widows. I'm thinking it took maybe months or weeks or whatever, because she's been looking for widows this entire time, and she's been wearing her iconic white suit that we saw in Black Widow. And she's just right now she is trying to get one of the widows to unbrainwash her, and she's gonna use the antidote on her. And that was a cool fight scene that broke out in this big mansion. And in their head, they think that she's being brainwashed to be there. She needs saving, but it turns out when they use the antidote on her, she's like, "Oh, you got stain all over my carpet," and Yelena's like, "What? Excuse me?" Meaning she thought she would break out of it, and she's like, "No, how did you get all this money?" And then that's what the other widow asks, and then the one girl's like, I did what I was trained to do. I do kill things, you know what I mean? I get paid to kill and all that stuff. So that was very interesting to see how we get to see other widows that, Yelena knows. And, we see that Yelena is still doing, the one last thing Natasha said to her for her to do before Natasha went off to, go do, Avengering and stuff and, save the world. So that was really cool to see that where Yelena's headspace was, and the fact of when she ends up going to the bathroom, she gets, when she's about to put water on her face, she blips, and then she blips right back. That was crazy to me to see that go down. I was talking to my sister saying we love the different variations of seeing people, get snapped and blip back, and what stuff is in panic. Some people are by themselves. Other moments is funny, like in, Spider-Man Far From Home. I love seeing the different parodies of people getting blipped, and and coming back. So that was really interesting to me. Seeing everybody, seeing Yelena's point of view where she's just going up with water to her face, gets snapped, and then just gets blipped back in the same place. And it's just her not knowing what's happening. The paint's changed around her. It's clearly been, right now we're in 2025 or whatever. So that was really cool to see in those 5 years, or 2023, in those 5 years or whatever, just see that go down. That was crazy to me, to see that just happen. And she goes out, and right now the widow has, a husband and adopted a daughter. And, Yelena's like, wait a second, you're just telling me that I've lost 5 years of my life. Just give me a minute. I'm very, very confused right now. And that was interesting to see her, she's like, I need to find Natasha. Can you please help me find Natasha? And little do we know, Natasha's gone. We know what she did. She sacrificed herself to bring everybody back. So that was very interesting to me to see that one moment. We all have that moment of, that's super sad. We know what happened to Natasha. And all she wants right now is to find her sister. And that really made me sad because we know what happened to Natasha. And I said to myself, I wonder who's going to tell her. I wonder how she's going to find out. And I'm assuming that for the way it made it sound like, oh, that Black Widow probably is going to tell her what happens, because she would know, because it looked like she wasn't, snapped. So it was very sad to hear her say, can you please help me find Natasha? But and then it cuts to, the title card, and then we get to Kate back from, she pretty much ends up walking in I guess Eleanor's, penthouse, and we see her from, it takes place literally right where the last episode left off, where her, she's walking home, she goes into the place, she's sad, she's crying, and, Eleanor sees how she's all beaten up, and she's sad. And the moment that really made me sad the most was when, I guess Eleanor's like, did you really think did Clint really think you're a hero? You were a superhero? And she's like, no. And she's like, neither do I. And that really made me sad, because we saw how devoted Kate was. We saw how much how happy Kate was with doing what she was doing. Even though things went south and things went bad, we always saw that, she felt like she finally is achieving who she wants to be. And that was very sad because, it was like a second guess she was second guessing herself at first to be like, oh, maybe he was right. Maybe I was dumb to do this. Well, I really thought I could be an Avenger. And, seeing, Eleanor act like, she's like, she just has a great way of, like, I don't know if she, like, I think I know, but I think I don't know. It's like, are you genuinely sad? But I feel like you are happy, sad that, she's not involved so she won't get hurt. Because as I said previously with, her connections and stuff, and, she is behind a lot of this stuff in a sense. There's always, of course, a bigger person, but I said, she really wants Kate to get out of this previously from last episode, in episode 4. She told Hawkeye to, she told Clint to please keep Kate out of it, meaning she didn't want Kate being hurt. And she keeps seeing that Kate keeps getting hurt, and she really thought, this is it, this is done with. I'm happy about this. And, just seeing Kate being sad and, her wishing that, he didn't say what he said and sending her home, it was really cool to see, but we all know Kate was going to make a bounce back, and it was cool to see her get to the point when she realized, I am supposed to do this, I'm not going to let him do this is my choice. That was really cool to see that go down. But when, her mom wants her to stay at the penthouse and not, because she doesn't have an apartment building anymore. I mean, she does, but it's all burnt and crispy and it needs to get redone. And so she ends up going to her place to salvage whatever stuff she can get to go back home to the penthouse that, with Eleanor. So it was just very interesting to me seeing her go in. She's looking around, and here I am thinking the window is open. Oh my God, is Yelena going to show up? And Yelena shows up. She ends up throwing the hot sauce at Yelena, and Yelena's like, catches it and says, hi. And that was very funny to see Yelena she wants answers. Because we all know Yelena didn't want to kill Kate. She only threw her off the roof, and she even harnessed her. I didn't notice that until the second time I watched it, that she harnessed Kate, threw her off. She didn't want to hurt her. And that's when she looked at Kate, when Kate was about to shoot her, saying, don't do it, this does not concern you. I love that. And of course, she would want to go get answers. She would want to do some background check on Kate, which she did, hence why she was in Kate's apartment. And she's like, she even said, I'm not here to kill you. If I wanted to kill you, I could have killed you when you walked through the door. And Kate's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, once I walked in, I would have had a chance to do anything. She's like, yeah. She's like, I made mac and cheese if you're hungry. You took so long, so I made some mac and cheese, So why don't you sit down and we'll talk about, we'll just talk about this. I want to know why you're hanging around Clint Barton. And then it was just interesting to see they're talking, and of course Kate's scared, like, okay, you probably shouldn't be here or whatever because you're a bloodthirsty murderer or whatever. She's like, oh, it goes back to that or whatever. I'm just here, to do some sights on New York. You know what I mean? I always wanted to be in New York, and this is the first time I'm here. Of course, it's on business, but it's my first time in New York. You got any places I could go to? And she's like, oh, all these good places, but yeah, you're a bloodthirsty person, so no. But I love how it really cut down to the point of she says, I want to kill Clint because of what she did, what he did to Natasha. And as we all know, Kate knows what really happened, but Yelena does not. And Yelena won't believe it. Even Kate's like, he would never do that. He never did that. They were friends. Why do you believe that? And she's like, oh, because I just do, essentially. And I'm thinking what we thought of, me and my sister, is that it makes sense because we always thought, how would Valentina know that Clint had anything to do with Natasha dying and all that stuff? Like, how would she know? Because last time we saw, Natasha died in Vormir, and of course Valentina doesn't have capabilities to get to space or travel or do anything like that. So we're like, how does she even know? But of course, Natasha went to Japan to get Clint from being Ronin so she could recruit him back to being an Avenger to save his family and give him hope. So that one last moment was the last time Natasha was alive. So that must be the picture she got. The information, and it was just enough information to make, Yelena go after Clint. So that was very interesting to me on the fact that she just, from what she knows, Clint killed Natasha. And I'm waiting for the moment, like I said, from, my theories video, is I'm waiting for the moment for, I think I even said in my episode 4 video review, that I want to see the moment when there will be a moment where Clint explains to Yelena, I did not kill Natasha. She sacrificed herself to save the world, and she sacrificed herself to save me. She knew I had a family. She knew this, and she knew the risks, and she did this for me to save me. And he tried, but she knew that that was the only way to save everybody. She knew the risks, and she knew what she had to do, and she was not about to let Clint do that. When she said she'd give him hope, and she promised him that, she would do this. So that was her way of doing it. And I really love the fact of, I'm waiting for that moment, because that's going to be a really good moment. But I also love the moment back into when Yelena is talking to Kate. Kate's like, why don't you how you didn't background check on me, but why haven't you done a background check on the person that hired you? It clearly says what type of a person you are that you didn't do that. So, and it just, I love how Kate's finally telling her, you should probably do the background check on who hired you and why you believe this. And she's like, you keep telling yourself that, he's a hero, but look at all the people he's killed. That doesn't change who a person is when a person's done something. But it really makes me wonder, because as we all know, Yelena killed people. Yeah, she was brainwashed, but she did kill people. So it makes me wonder the parallel of maybe she's just giving all her anger out on that. She's not realizing what she's done. Or maybe she even thinks of herself now, thinking she could be saved on the task that Natasha sent her on, thinking I could do good. I could do good in my life. But then that moment when Natasha died, she probably, she started working for Valentina, being, a hit for hire, makes her think of herself as, saying, that's why she says that, like, oh, once you're a killer, you're always a killer. You know what I mean? And maybe she thinks of that of herself, and maybe this will set her on a path to become a young Avenger and all that stuff, going in the Young Avengers and all that. So that's just going to be interesting to see the moment where Clint talks to her saying, I didn't kill her, this is what really happened. They set you up, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? That's just going to be a very touching moment. I can't wait to see that moment. And it's going to happen in episode 6. We only have one more episode left. But that was just very interesting to me. And just to see her saying to Kate, like, if you get in my way, don't get in my way again. And she does, of course, her grappling, and she falls out the window. She's got style. And it's funny because she's such a poser. She posed in the last episode. So clearly she's learned some stuff from Natasha being a poser. So I really do love that, the parallels of that, because she ended up becoming a poser. But I love how also, when we saw what's going on with Kate, we also see what's going on with Clint. And it was funny because Clint was walking down the street and we're seeing where episode 4 left off, where he's walking down the street, the Christmas music is playing, he's carrying his bow and everything, and I low-key started laughing because with the Christmas, it was like a laughing scene because he's walking down the street and he's all like beaten up and the Christmas music is playing, he has his bow in his hand. I just thought that was funny to me, all that happening. And he goes to stay with Grills. Of course, the cosplayer, also the LARPer, also he works at the fire department. So that was really cool to see that he wanted to go stay with the Grills, the only person he really could really trust besides, Kate, because he told Kate to stay out of it. But I said to myself, why would you go to the Grills place? Because people are hunting you down, and I don't want Grills to die. And I'm afraid that's going to happen because we all know who's the main head honcho behind this, the main problem. And that really concerns me of where that Grills' character could go, because they really focus in on him in this episode 2 with Clint staying in his apartment, and he's like, can you just watch the dog for a bit? I'm gonna go stay at the hotel. He's like, I'm not gonna let an Avenger stay at a hotel. Of course, sleep on my couch. Hell, sleep in my bed. You know what I mean? Like, so you could stay here. And it really shows how Grills is a really a team player. He's like a person that Clint can really trust. I'm a feeling that Grills might die, and I don't want that to happen. Because when people are hunting you down, and people will kill anybody that you're involved with. So I'm just scared for that. But hopefully he'll be okay in the next episode. But also the costumes are done. Grills even says, "Oh, do you want to go see you and Kate's costume? They're done." And he's like, "Going a bit," and he just ends up laying back, chilling. And at this moment, it's just interesting because he goes to the memorial, the Avengers memorial, I guess, of all the heroes of that came together for the Battle of New York. And he takes out his hearing aid, and he's pretty much saying sorry to Natasha, saying, I really do, I am sorry. I keep replaying the same situation in my head, hoping for a different outcome. And, I'm really trying to make the best of my life that you given me by you making that sacrifice. But he's like, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, meaning that he was sorry that he was going to put on the Ronin costume again. And he was going to go after, of course, Echo, because Echo made the list, as we know, of Clint's family, and it got a little too close for home for Clint, so Clint ends up saying, you know what, I'm going to warn her. I'm not going to kill her, but I'm going to warn her to stay away, and I'm going to show her my face, saying that if you go near my family again, or if you try to go near me again, I'm going to kill you. Like, that's just as simple as that. And there was a cool fight scene that broke out at, like, I think it was at the tire shop, wasn't it, Bethany? It was like the Fat Boy Auto place, and it said something about like tires and stuff. So that was very cool to see that go down. But I really made me laugh though that Kazi and all of them thought they could get the drop down on Ronin. That's what made me laugh, because I love how Clint, before he ends up setting up the meeting, he sends in an arrowhead, literally shooting through the Truster Broke like truck, and almost like hits one of the tracksuits in the face, and it like stops in the windshield. That was hilarious. He said, he screamed, and it was funny. And then a little like note pops out of it and says, tell Echo to meet me here, which was at the, of course, the Fat Boy Auto. So that was just really cool to see them try to like ambush him, but of course Clint's trains in Ronin to take out people like that, and that was just funny to see him do all that. And also makes me even wonder even more that the watch is connected to Clint's wife. I can't remember, Lila, right, Beth? No, not Lila. That's his daughter's name. What is Clint's wife's name? Okay, but it shows that the watch is connected to her in some way, and I am thinking she could be a SHIELD agent. I am thinking that, or she could be, maybe she could have been ex-Black Widow, but I'm going towards SHIELD agent. I don't think Black Widow, but I don't know. But it really shows Laura, and it shows it's connected to her in some way, and I feel like that's why it got too close to home when he was writing down the list of his family's name, because as we all know, no one knew that Clint had a family except the Avengers. So that's really interesting. She did all that background check and everything. And that's how she was able to, maybe she went through the watch and was able to find out, it's connected. He has a family, this, and that. I don't know. But that's why I love how he took all of them out. And that was cool to see, like, the parallels to that. I thought of Daredevil, right, when he's taking everybody out, because that's literally what Daredevil does. We've seen that in Season 3 of Daredevil. That he just takes out people, even in other seasons, but mainly Season 3, where he's, like, taking out, like, people in the parking garage in Daredevil Season 3. I got very parallels of that, and it makes me excited to see what series they do with Daredevil, or when Daredevil does show up, Charlie Cox's Daredevil in Echo, because I think that's where he's going to show up as Daredevil. But it just makes me excited to see what they're going to be doing with the character with that. But I love what they're setting up with the ground level work, and I love that fight that did break out between Echo and between Ronin, and him, showing his face, saying, "Look, I'm this," and also, by the way, sometimes, me and you are the same, and when we have anger that that clouds your judgment, it's just a straight line of just you doing something, when you're set up in a certain way, it just, you're clouded by, just anger and everything, and that's what happened. And he said, I would let you, it's like, why don't you, I was sent by the lead boss, I was sent by your, head boss to go out to that, to the tracksuit meeting and take all them out. That your head boss wanted me to kill your father or whatever. So that sets up, and I even said this, saying, I'm wondering if she's going to find out, and then she's going to go after him in the Echo series. So that's why, so now Echo knows that some shit is going down, and that Ronin, aka Clint, or wouldn't lie about something like that. She's trying to get information. She believed it. She's like, I don't believe you at first, but then she does believe it, because she said, ask Kazi, why weren't you there the night my dad was murdered? You were second hand. Why weren't you there? And he's like, I don't know. I just didn't go, or whatever. Meaning she knows he's lying. And I think when she went off, I think we're going to see her. I don't know if she's going to be at the end fight to go after Clint. I think we might see an end credit of her going after, Kingpin. I think that's what's going to be happening. I think she won't show up at the end fight, because she knows that she doesn't care about that. It seems like she knows that it's not him. The real villain she wants to go after is Kingpin, the uncle. So that's going to be very interesting to see that go down, if we'll get any, or maybe we'll see it during the episode. They'll cut to that, and so what, Kate and Clint is fighting the tracksuits, and then ends up fighting, Yelena trying to tell her the truth. But then we cut over to, of course, Echo going after Kingpin. And that's when we'll finally see actually Vincent D'Onofrio in his full form Kingpin. So that's going to be interesting to me that now she knows, because I even said that Clint needs to tell Echo that Kingpin sent him to that place to take out the tracksuits and to take out, her dad. And I wanted that to happen, and it finally happened. It didn't save it for whatever. I think she literally might go after him in the next episode. And I'm excited for that. And that will lead into her series. Maybe she'll fail the first time, and then she'll go after him. Or maybe he ends up leaving, and then that's what their series will be about. I don't know. But I'm just excited that now she knows that people have been lying to her. And now she knows that it wasn't Ronin, it wasn't Clint that killed. He was given the order. He was blinded by judgment. He was just trying to, in his own way, cope with what happened to his family. And he was just, a hit for hire, so he did whatever. But really, the main villain that did that to Echo's father is Kingpin. And I knew it. He was manipulating her, and I said that. So my theories are coming true, guys, and I'm super, super happy about that. It's always good to get a theory right, and I got it right. I'm super happy about that. And also, on another front I got right was, Yelena does end up following up who actually hired her, and it was Eleanor. So that is awesome, because I'm thinking when Eleanor made that call after Clint left the hotel building, so I'm thinking she was either A, calling Valentina, or maybe she was calling Kingpin to call Valentina to get the Black Widow to come. So it all ties into the one moment. So I'm thinking maybe it was Val that she was calling, saying, yo, we have a problem. Or, but I thought she would be calling Kingpin, because Kingpin's like the main head honcho, and he would be calling someone out to get the Black Widow to deal with this problem. So that would make more sense to me. So as we all know, Eleanor is the one that really called in for the Black Widow assassination of, Clint. And the reason that's what I'm thinking, it was at that moment when she found out Clint was involved with, Kate. I'm thinking that was at that moment she made that call to either Valentina or, of course, Kingpin, was that moment that Yelena could have been hired or something. I'm thinking that's what happens. And I love how I could just see that in my head. Oh, she gives the call or whatever, and then the moment where Valentina gives Yelena that thing, I just put it all together in my head, but I love that. And I was right saying that, because we end up seeing when she ends up tracking her, saying, okay, your mom hired me, we end up seeing who she's also with, and it is Kingpin. I was right, guys. I was right. I said it, saying it's not too far-fetched to be like, I had two theories. The main was I guess I said that Eleanor was working with Kingpin. I said that. She does all the security and all the stuff for like for the crime bosses and stuff, and for the crime people. I'm like, or even just for him or whatever, or it's a business probably with everybody. But I said that she was definitely working with Kingpin, and I was right. And I'm really happy I was right. The other one was that she could have been, going against him, and like the battle of who's going to be in charge of New York. That could still possibly go down. She could be, semi working with him if trying to build something on the side. But my main theory was right, guys. The one I had. And I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I love this show so much. I literally, it's my favorite Disney Plus show. I have this on the top of my Disney Plus rankings. I just can't believe we only have one more episode left. And it seems like now, I don't know, it seems like, and I already love the bond building that we have of Yelena and Kate, because we're already starting to build it up to like the Young Avengers. And I feel like they're gonna have such a great vibe to each other, a great team. They're going to be a great team, and I'm excited for that. Because they're both cocky when it comes to how good they are at what they do, and they're both just motivated and driven for what they do, and they're gonna be badass together in the Young Avengers. But I just love this episode, guys. I can't believe we got our final look at Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk / Kingpin. That's insane. Of course, it wasn't the best photo. I don't really know if he's really CGI'd in that photo. He kind of looked normal. I think we'll really know, because there was rumors saying he'll be bigger, and I think we'll really see that in when he's in his full form, which we'll probably see again, if not at the end credit of episode 6, of episode 6 next week. We'll probably see him in episode 6 in his full form. but I just think we will see him either at the end of the show, or the end credit, if there will be an end credit, or we'll see him, just in the episode. Again, I think Echo, like, when she rode off, I think she's going to be going not after Clint anymore. I think she's going to be going after, her uncle, Wilson. So I'm excited. I'm stoked. I loved this episode. I can't wait to hear down in the comments below what you guys thought about this episode. I would say by far, as far as I know, last week's episode was my favorite, because the way the fight choreography with Yelena, but I really would put this probably, I don't know, second up there, because I love the what we did with this episode. A lot of the building up to the finale, a lot of like the finding out what happened with Yelena, from and the Black Widow, like seeing where she is and what happened to her being blipped, and I love it all. So I would really put this probably at the top, because I really second to episode 4. But guys, I can't wait to hear down in the comments below what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know down in the comments below also what was your favorite episode, and also let me know, did you guys get any of your theories right of what could be of what was happening in the series? Did you guys get the theory right that Eleanor was working for Kingpin? Did you guys get the theory right that I forget the other one I just mentioned. I think that was pretty much. Clint was only sent. Ronin was only sent to the tracksuit meeting because of Kingpin, and Kingpin wanted to kill Echo's father, and he manipulated her. I had that theory. Did anybody else get that theory? I'm curious to know. And also, I just want to know what you guys thought about this episode and what was your favorite part. And again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel and put in those notifications, like this video. I would love to have you guys here, part of this family. Guys, tomorrow is No Way Home. It's finally the day. I can't believe that it's actually this week, and I can't believe it's tomorrow. I've been staying off the internet ever since Monday. Again, I've had some scares pop up when I went on YouTube. But it's crazy, guys. So again, do your best to stay away from everything Spider-Man. Try to take it out of your recommendations if you can. I turned off my notifications for Instagram, YouTube, Discord, everything, because I'm trying not to get spoiled by anything. So I'm just trying to stay low-key as possible, trying to survive until tomorrow. I'm seeing at 3 o'clock tomorrow as early as possible, and then at Dolby, and then I'm going to be going to an 8 o'clock show in IMAX the same night. So I'm doing a double feature. I will be wearing my Spider-Man No Way Home costume. I will be vlogging us on our way to the theater, us vlogging the experience with the fans, and I will be putting up probably my spoiler-free review tomorrow, and I will put up my spoiler review on Friday. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So big things are coming. So stay tuned, guys. If it's going to be crazy tomorrow. It's going to be hectic. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, are you guys seeing No Way Home tomorrow? Or let me know when you'll be seeing No Way Home. And let me know if you guys have been doing the best to not get spoiled. At least I hope you guys haven't gotten spoiled for anything. But guys, literally, we're on our way to hitting 500 subscribers. We're really, really close right now. We're at 430 or 431. We're making moves. We're making strides. This family's growing each and every day, and I'm super, super grateful. But guys, that was the video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.